There's some stuff that I've come to recently think about a lot more, and one of these things would be the idea that we won't always know what we're getting ourselves into. We won't always understand what we have to do in order to live the life that we want to live. Sometimes things are not going to be as certain as we would like them to be, right? Sometimes life won't be the way that we want it to be, and that's okay. You know, things will be uncertain. Ideas won't always make sense to us, to other people. Life won't always have this deep meaning, that we constantly have to strive towards. I honestly believe that. I don't think that there's a way that we can live 100% with purpose every single day. Like, that's just, things come and go, right? Your mind is so dynamic. No matter how much you try to control it, there will always come different kinds of ideas in your mind. There will always come different kinds of desires that you have to suppress in order to keep going down the right path. And so, naturally, there will be worse and better days. Life won't always be in the same way. It won't have the same quality. Like, there's plenty of things that have changed since last week. Plenty of things that were not the same as they were last week. Maybe they've gotten better, or maybe they've gotten worse. Only you know. And it's been the same for me. A while back I felt so confused and so angry at the fact that I could not wake up decently early every single day. I felt bad at the fact that I was not recording as many videos as I'd like to. And this was something that was seriously affecting me, and it was affecting my mood and I guess my mental health in general. But after some time, I just realized that, things change. Life is dynamic. I cannot just force myself to do things as often as I would like to if there's just different kinds of scenarios, different kinds of circumstances. I'm not saying that, oh, this is just cope, I don't have to wake up early or record that many videos anymore. I still feel bad that I'm not doing enough of these things, but I just understand that life won't always be my way. Life won't always be in the same manner as we would like it to be, as the way we plan it. Like, how many times have you planned a certain thing? Whether it's a meeting, a date, or a goal of some sorts, and you just completely miss it, like, by a lot, by like I don't even know, a lot, bro. You completely miss it like that, and you think to yourself, let's just forget that ever happened. Let's just forget I ever spoke to this girl. Let's just forget I ever went on this walk out, this night out with my boys. Let's just forget this ever happened, because this was genuinely horrible. Life in itself is the same way. I mean, there will be days when you will just think to yourself, let's just forget this ever happened. Let's just look towards next day. Let's just look towards tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Because today was absolutely miserable. And I cannot even put my finger on it. I do not know why. Certainly there's reasons, right? Certainly there's reasons why things didn't go well. Maybe it's like you didn't get enough sleep. Maybe, I don't know, there's some sort of external circumstance which got in the way. But just what is certain is that things didn't work out. And now you're pissed off. Now you're angry. Now you're messed up. Absolutely, like, mentally messed up. Maybe even physically. You don't even know where to go. You don't even know what to do. And maybe, sadly, most of the time it's not just a day and then there's like 7 good days and then there's a bad day. There will be periods when you will only have like 7 days when it's bad and 1 day when things seem to be going well. But even on that day, you feel like something's off. Like something's not where it should be. You know, we're not supposed to know exactly what's going on with us. I mean, we would like to, I would love to, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I mean, even the people who know themselves best, they still have moments in which they realize, I don't actually know myself. I mean, I guess some sort of wisdom is realizing that there's so many things about yourself that you don't know, that you have yet to learn. Not to just find out all the things about yourself, because a wise man realizes that he doesn't know who he is. You know, a prideful man would be the one that says, you know, I've done so much work and I know myself so well and I can control myself so well all the time. And, you know, that's just a pride. But the wise thing to do, the wisdom, comes from accepting the fact that we are all so damn complicated. Like, there's so many things inside of us, there's so many ideas and memories and thoughts which surge within our minds all of the time, which give us such a complicated character that even it's hard for us, bro. Like, the people ourselves, right? Our own minds are not even capable of understanding ourselves. Our own selves, right? It's weird. And on this note, you know, I would like to mention, like, if we don't know ourselves, right? If we do not understand ourselves, then why do we sometimes expect other people to understand us? You know, this is an idea that I've heard about, and I really think it's interesting. You know, we let other people try to guess what our problems are. We let other people try to guess what we want or what we wouldn't like. Instead of just saying it plainly and out loud, you know, we just run away from it. We just try to make other people think that, oh, you know, like, this is what he wants. Maybe this is what he wouldn't like, you know. And then you get pissed off when they mess up. You get pissed off when you actually realize that they don't know you. I mean, how can they know you when you don't even know yourself? It's just so weird, isn't it? You know? We need to be more capable of communicating with the people around us. I mean, we have to. You know, if you're trying to get into a relationship, you will not be able to have your girl know everything about you. You won't be able to have that partner that you would like know you by heart when you don't even know yourself, like 50%. How do you expect that person to know you at 50% or even more? No. And because of this, we have to let our desires and our needs known. We have to communicate those things. Hey, look, I don't like it when you say that because it makes me feel this certain way. Look, I don't know what's going on inside of my head, but there's like some stupid stuff happening and I don't like it when I see you talking to that guy. Look, you know, I don't really want to be with you right now. I'd rather, you know, spend some time on my own. Like, this is nothing between us. It's just sometimes I feel weird and I feel like I need some time on my own. Like, it can be simple stuff like this. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me as well. Like, just imagining myself to say that to a girl, it just makes you feel weird, makes you feel weak, doesn't it? I mean, for so long, especially if you've been going through self-improvement in this like red pill way, you know, if you've been listening to most content creators out there talking about girls, bro, they're just telling you, you know, don't show weakness of any kind. Don't show weakness. Don't say that. But this is not necessarily a weakness, bro. This is just you saying, hey, look, like, some things are not working out here. I'm not sure why, and I don't want this to get between us. So let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on so that we can fix it. And this doesn't just apply to relationships of like the romantic kind. It also applies to family. It also applies to friends. And I think sometimes it applies more to family and friends. Because most of the time you're going to have family more and you're going to have friends more than you will relationships. I think so. I mean, at least this is what it's been my experience up until this point. We need to be able to make the people around us understand what we want, because most of the time, bro, the people around you, your friends, your family, they don't want to hurt you like out of their own desire to do so. They don't desire to just, they don't wake up in the morning and they think, oh, I want to hurt Cosmin today. I want to like say some stuff that annoys the hell out of him for no reason and make his day worse. Oh, I just want to like, whatever. You get the point. No, nobody does that. Especially your parents, especially, I don't know, family members that love you and that care about you. They don't wake up in the morning with that desire to do so. There's some exceptions when there will be people that are genuinely just driven to do harm for some reason. Whether it's their own problems in the past, whether it's just their simple desire to see people hurt. I don't know. I don't know. But it's very rare that there's plain bad in the world. There's very rare that there's plain evil. Most of the time, it comes from something. It comes from a certain experience in the past. It comes from certain things that they have went through in their youth, in their younger years, which has shaped them in a hazardous way, in a pathological way. But again, that's very rare cases. So in most cases, people will do wrong by you unknowingly. Or they have like their own momentarily lapse of judgment. Like they have like that short-term lapse of judgment of some sorts, and they end up saying some stuff that they wouldn't have otherwise said if they were more rational, right? But we're all human, right? We always lose our tempers. We all do that. We have to understand that we cannot live like this for the entirety of our lives. We cannot live getting pissed off at people, wondering why they don't understand us, wondering why they're saying these things. We have to vocalize these things. And I would like to, this is a bit unrelated, but there's like something that happened in the past few days, right? I met some of my relatives, and two of them, which are they're like family members, bro. Like they're part of the same family. They're like old people, right? They're genuinely old people. They've lived their entire lives together, side by side, helping each other out, being by each other's side. And only recently, like, they've gone mad at each other over some stuff that happened in their past. Like some things that happened in their past, like 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago, even 50 years ago. And now they just ended up having like two arguments, and now they don't even talk to each other, and they live across the street. These relatives, they have their houses across the street, and they don't even talk to each other. And they're literally like family members, bro. Like, they're siblings. And because of something that happened 50 years ago in their youth, mind you, they're old now. They're like old people nearing their death, sadly. Like, that's just the truth. They're nearing their death. They got pissed off over some things that happened 50 years ago, and now they haven't been talking to each other for like a month. A month. How did we end up being this way? How did we end up letting this stuff happen? And I think it might be because of a lack of communication. It might be because every single time when things didn't go well, even every single time when you got pissed off, you'd rather just cancel it for later. You'd rather just say, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with this now because of X reason. Instead of actually going through the discomfort right now and saying, hey, you know what, this pissed me off a lot. Like, why did you say that? Or why did you do this? I don't like it. Instead of going through that discomfort now and being closer to each other and having a stronger relationship in the long term, because of that initial conflict, which would get itself resolved, like definitely, especially when it's between siblings. Think about it. You're nearing your death. You have like a few years left, maybe not even 10, maybe not even 10 years left to live. And you get in a fight with your own sibling, which you've known for your entire life. And you end up not speaking to each other and you're across the road. And you don't have anyone else, by the way. Like, they're just by themselves, these people. They live by themselves. I can imagine that they live lonely lives. I mean, some maybe they get visitors from time to time, but they live lonely lives. And to give up that one person that understands you most, that loves you most, that cares about you most, to give that person aside just because of some stupid stuff that might not be that stupid, but it happened 50 years ago. And the fact that it happened 50 years ago and you get pissed off over it now, when you don't even have like double digits time in numbers, in years to live, and you don't even talk to each other and it's been a month and there's like no sign of it ever getting resolved. My dad said something interesting, which I guess is true, and it's the fact that with age, when we are young, we start out as children and we grow up and we mature and we become adults. But once we start growing older and once we start actually gaining a lot of age, and we start nearing our deaths, bro, we return to, in a mental state, we return to our youth. We're literally just like children again. And when I see these relatives and the way that they talk about each other and the way that they get pissed off at these things, it genuinely, for me right now, I'm 17, I'm nearing 18. I'm nearing like the mature age or whatever it's called. I don't even know. These things, they seem so childish to me. It's like, genuinely, these people, they have returned to their youth. They have returned to being 14-year-old kids that get pissed off because one said something about the other, and now they won't talk to each other whatsoever. Keep your family close. Keep your loved ones close. Vocalize your problems. Vocalize the things that you don't like about somebody. Or else these things, they will come back and bite you. Even 50 years later, as my example, you might say, you know what, this is like such a small thing. Like, there's no way that this can bother me. Bro, these people, they ended up arguing and getting in a fight and not speaking to each other after 50 years. So there's a very big chance that whatever that small thing that you might think will have the snowball effect, and it will just grow larger and larger and larger until it engulfs your soul. And there's nothing else left. It's only resentment and hate and anger. And when it erupts, you're going to have such a massive fight with somebody, even 50 years later, when you will need that person most. When you will need to be around that person, to have that person around you most, bro, you will get in a fight and you won't speak to each other anymore. And who knows how much longer you have left to live. For God's sake, don't do that. Vocalize your fears, vocalize your problems, understand the fact that things won't always go well, and that we have to take responsibility for our mistakes, and sometimes even for the mistakes of other people. Sometimes we have to understand that, we have to do things. Like, we have to get things done if the other person won't. If the other person is not in the mental place to do so, we're going to have to fix it. We're going to have to get things done. On behalf of them, on behalf of ourselves, we have to take responsibility. Sometimes. Hopefully not that often. But yeah, we have to do that, man. Take care of yourself, brother. You know, if you want to join me, you can join my self-improvement Discord server. You can go on a free self-improvement coaching call with me. There will be the links of that in my YouTube channel description, right? You just can search there and you'll find the links. Take care of yourself, man, and keep going forward. You got this, man. Trust you. See ya.